Everybody, what's up, y'all? Welcome to my channel. Tammy Talks here. We are here to talk 90 Day Fiance Before the 90 Days, Season 5, Episode 1, A Leap of Faith. If you're brand new to my channel, I do TV show recaps sprinkled in with my own commentary and opinions on each episode. So if you enjoy that type of content, go ahead, subscribe to my channel. Thumbs up the video if you enjoyed the commentary I gave tonight. And always happen to the comment section. It always goes down in the comments. So those of y'all that have been rocking with me from Married at First Sight, y'all told me to watch the show. And when I tell y'all, I don't know what the hell I just watched. But let's get into it, y'all. So we met 4 different couples today, starting with Caleb. Caleb is 28 years old. He is from Arizona. Describes himself as adventurous, has a hyperactive lifestyle, and he loves to travel. He likes to meditate. He's in the tarot, but now he's ready to settle down. You know, he feels that going around the world and traveling to all these different places is fun, it's cool, but it's nothing without having the one you love with you. So he's ready to settle down. So he is going to be traveling to Turkey to meet Alina. Alina is 27 years old and she is from Russia. So the two of them actually met 15 years ago on social media. They were teenagers at the time, chatting, probably on what was out 15 years ago, chatting on AOL or something like that, where they were just, really good friends. They reconnected recently when Caleb was planning a trip to Russia, and he got on a Russian dating site because he wanted to see if there was someone there that he could get with to kick it, hang out with. Something happened with the trip. They weren't able to connect, or the trip didn't go as planned, probably because of the pandemic. So they just started to date online. So now they are finally going to meet. They were planning a trip. He's going to be there for 2 weeks because of the pandemic. Russia does have travel restrictions. So they're going to meet in Turkey, where they both can go meet up for the first time. So we meet Elena, and she has the form of dwarfism. So while both her parents are normal-sized people, they both apparently had the trait, so that's how she became that way. So she can walk and all the type of stuff, but she does get tired fast, so she's in a wheelchair a lot of times too. So she is concerned that Caleb's going to see her in the wheelchair and kind of feel like it's too much for him to handle. So that's one of her biggest fears right now. And she's just nervous as to how he's going to view her in person. So then we meet Kim, who is 50 and is from San Diego. And y'all, Kim is a trip. So Kim is a huge fan of Michael Jackson. She has like a Michael Jackson tattoo. She has this little figurine of Michael on like a mantle. She had this like wall that was full of like pictures of Michael Jackson. And she has what she is claiming to be a fedora that he actually wore and autographed, but she says it's only worth $8,000 or $9,000. Kim, if that is a true Michael Jackson fedora that the King of Pop himself owned, that is not only worth $8,000 or $9,000. You might have a replica, my guy. You might have a replica, but we're gonna rock with Kim. Kim has a son named Jamal, who is 25 years old, who is very handsome. He is from her previous marriage, but she was married to someone for 20 years, found out that he was cheating on her with several women, and the divorce ended. So she met Soulja Boy, not the American one we got, the one over there from, I think she's in Nigeria. So he is a rapper. He's an international superstar, they said. I've never heard of him, but that could just be me being an ignorant American. So I'm going to, chalk that up. But they met on social media. So she slid in his DM saying that she was a fan. And from there, a friendship blossomed between the two of them. He's doing a video shoot in Tanzania, and she is going to go over there so she can meet him. Now, in her eyes, they are in a relationship. In his eyes, he considers her just a potential because his ex-wife was an American woman and he had a bad relationship with her, so he's very hesitant on that. And I said, "Oh, that's bullshit. Just say you using this lady for whatever." whatever the reason, whatever you got going on, you are using this lady. So then we meet Gino. Gino is 51 years old. He is from Michigan. Gino in his laugh, I cannot deal with it. Gino honestly seems very precious. I hope that Gino does not get hurt at the end of this, but I have a feeling it's going to happen. But Gino had a freezer full of microwavable food, and I just knew. From there, I knew what we were going to get out of Gino. So he said he has an ex-wife who was from Brazil. He went over there for work, and he ended up bringing her back on a visa. They were married for 7 years. The spark kind of fizzled out, and they had a very mutual divorce. So he met Jasmine when he got on an international dating site, and he feels that Jasmine is his soulmate. Even though he has never met Jasmine, he feels that she is the one. He is so excited that he went, excited to meet her. He's going to meet her in Panama, that he went to the pharmacy and he bought lube and he bought little blue pills and he bought all types of stuff to get ready for his trip. He has not had sex in a few years, so he's nervous. So that was why he bought the blue pills. But he said, rest assured, y'all, he tested them out, I guess with a hand job on himself, and he said they work. So he is confident that they're going to work with Jasmine. I said, oh, Gino. So, his brother and his sister-in-law come over. They're going to exchange Christmas gifts and have like a little Christmas time now, because during Christmas he's going to be in Panama meeting Jasmine. And his sister-in-law asked him, like, does she know about your hair? Apparently Gino was bald, or he has a super receding. While he said that she knows about it, he likes the way he looks with his hat. So he's going to be wearing a hat at all times unless he is sleeping. Now, my concern with that, Gino, is like, if you want to wear a hat, that's fine, sweetheart. But he wears this hat popped kind of like this. So, like, she's seeing most of your head anyways. But whatever, he's going to pack 3 of his favorite hats. And he just said he made her aware of that. His sister-in-law does not look... She looked concerned AF. I can tell you. His sister-in-law is not entertained by this. She's not pleased. He plans to propose to her. While he's over there. Jasmine is 34 years old. She's young. She seems pretty enough, I guess. She's an American lit teacher. And he said that from the first moment that he started talking to her, when they first linked up on there, he connected with her, and that is what he is calling the love of his life, okay? So we see Elena. She goes to visit her parents before taking her trip, and her parents are worried about if he knows that she's in a wheelchair. And she said, of course, because that's not something to leave out. I don't think it's something that you should ever conceal from somebody. If you meet somebody and that is a problem for them, that's their issue, not the issue of the person in the wheelchair. You know what I mean? So put that out there. Let them know that right away. But I don't believe in surprising somebody with that. So she said she knows. She said that her parents, or her mom specifically, says she's very concerned about her going to a different country during the pandemic to meet somebody that they don't know. You know what I mean? Because anything can happen. Apparently, this is not a first time for Elena doing something like this. She met somebody online before. That person happened to be in Russia, so they were able to meet up. However, when he went back to his country, which I think she said was in did she say South Africa or South America? I want to say South Africa. They stopped talking. So she actually took a trip there, And she kept calling him, and every time she called him, he found a reason as to why he like could not meet up with her, reason after reason, and it was a lot for her to get through and a lot for her to kind of get over. So that was rough for her. So her family is really concerned about what that is going to do for her. So then we have Memphis, and that's her sister. So we have Memphis, who is 34 years old. She is from Michigan. Describes herself as spontaneous, fun. She's been single for the past 4 years, but she has dated around, has a bit of a wild side, but she says she is ready to settle all the way down. So she has a 13-year-old daughter from a previous relationship, and then she has a 6-year-old son that she is currently co-parenting. Now the little boy's face, the daughter was actually on the show. The little boy's face was blurred out, so that means that tells me that his father was like, absolutely not, absolutely not. So she says she has tried online dating with American men. It has not worked out for her. So she is going to try an international dating app and see what's what. And I just feel like, Memphis, you have kids, a 13-year-old and a 6-year-old. Why are you we're going to get to that, because Lord have mercy, Memphis. My goodness, this is stupid. This is stupid, Memphis, to subject your children to some random ass man that you don't know from another country. Girl, So she said they plan on getting married right away, even though they have a language barrier. He speaks a little English. She does not speak Arabic at all. But y'all gonna get married. So she said when they get there, they're gonna hang out for the first week. The second week, they're gonna get married. The third week will be their honeymoon. That's it. So her friends asked her, how do you know that he is not using her, how he's not using you for a green card? And she said, because he's not. I said, okay. So she's going to be going to meet Hazma, who is 28 and from Tunisia. We don't get any background information on him. I'm going to assume because he don't really speak that much English, so they didn't bother sending a film crew over there because he's going to come over here and act the fool with her in America. So we see Gino. Gino said he has to tell Jasmine every time he leaves the house. So Gino orders some food, orders some fish and chips and some cheesecake from a restaurant. He's going to go pick it up. Jasmine texts him, and she wants to know where you're going, where you're going to be. She wants to prove, as she said, the evidence, the receipts, all of that. So he gets in the car, and she's like, I want to see what you're doing. I want to go in the restaurant when you pick up the food. And I said, girl, you got the nerve to be controlling from another country. Like, ain't it nighttime over there? Take that ass to sleep. Leave that man alone to go eat him some dinner. So he's picking up the food. He's on FaceTime with Jasmine, so it's already awkward. He goes into the restaurant, he picks up his food, and then he asks the woman, and what was your name? She says, Brittany. She said, who are you talking to? So she literally he has to show the phone, so that she can see this woman's face and know that he's really at a restaurant. So they get back in the car. Jasmine is mad because Jasmine said, why did you have to ask her name? Granted, I was wondering that too. Why did you ask that woman her name? But Gino honestly just seems like a friendly guy. So it wasn't malicious or anything like that in any way. So she has an attitude, and he was like, I'm just being nice, so I'll call you later. She said she gonna be asleep, so don't call her. So he gets home, and he calls her anyways, and she said that she doesn't like being insecure the way she is, but she doesn't say she doesn't trust him, but she's concerned because she doesn't know what he's doing because he's in another country across the world. So that's concerning to her. And I'm like, listen, you chose to be in a relationship with a man across seas. Don't do that. You can't have it both ways, Jasmine. But you can't expect this man to, every single time he leaves the house, he has to check in with you about every little thing. Come on now. And Gino, you stupid for doing it. Nonetheless, all right. So Kim is talking to her mother about Soulja Boy, And her mother doesn't agree with the relationship. She feels that, Kim is old enough to be that man's mother. And she thinks that Kim wears her heart on her sleeve. So she feels that Kim is putting too much out into the atmosphere, and her mother is really worried about her being heartbroken because her mom said it's just gonna kill her. She deserves better. Kim does seem like a very, very nice woman, but this is not it, girl. This is not it. So Kim starts crying and feel like people need to just let her live her life. And here's the thing, Kim, if you want to just live your life and do that, that is perfectly fine. I agree. People should let you live your life. However, you are pulling people into this because you're talking about it. If you want to skip your ass and go over to Tanzania to meet this man that you met online, do it. But you can't get mad when people are giving you their opinion about it when you're clearly asking them. You know what I mean? So, Kim, I wish you all the best, but this is not going to work, sis. So, Caleb is sitting outside. He's sitting outside by his fire pit. He draws a picture, I guess you can call it a picture, and he said that it's him manifesting how he wants his relationship with Elena to go, and then he puts it in the fire because that is going to put it into the spirits and manifest, and okay. So then the next day, he gets on Zoom or FaceTime with Elena, and he tells her that he wants to just pick her up and hug her and spin her around. And she said, I don't let nobody pick me up. And I can fully understand that because by her being a little person, she said, don't pick me up, and because it probably makes her feel childlike. You know what I mean? So she said she does not let people pick her up. But in this particular case, she will allow him to. And I feel like she meant this particular case, meaning the first time you see me. But after that, let's not make a habit out of it. So she tells him that her roommate Elijah is going to be coming with her because, one, it'll make her mom feel better. She feels that way Elijah can kind of show Caleb different things that she needs as far as like helping her out and taking care of her with the stuff that she might need help with. She mentioned like being able to turn on the light or, grabbing a hair dryer and stuff like that. And Caleb, like, low-key gets mad, and it's like, well, I just kind of feel like it's going to ruin the vibe when I first meet you. And I'm like, sir, you are meeting a woman in a different country. If she wants to have a friend there, who are you to be upset about that? I thought that was really weird. That seemed really, really weird to me that Caleb would get that upset. And he kind of said in his confessional that Elijah is going to be overstepping because now it is his job to take care of her, not Elijah's. And I said, oh, okay. So then Elena kind of mentions Elijah is there to really just kind of show you what I might need help with because I'm worried that what I need, the care that I need, the extra help I need might be too much for you, and I don't want you to like get irritated or get mad. So then Caleb is like, maybe I don't realize, exactly how much help she's gonna need. And my thing is like, this is a woman who is a little person. That she is she's in like a wheelchair. Why don't you think that she would need some type of help? Like, I guess, and this is why I don't think that Caleb is fully ready for this because he's not realized, like he said, he acknowledges she's in a wheelchair, but he's not fully prepared for this, y'all. He's not fully prepared, and I think shit is going to hit the fan when they finally do meet, and he's put into a predicament when he has to, his feet are really going to be put to the fire, and he has to really take care of her. So Gino meets up with his uncle and his uncle's girlfriend. Sorry, So he goes and meets up with his uncle and his uncle's girlfriend, and they're gonna shoot some pool, and they're talking about this. And his uncle is so worried. Uncle Marco is so worried that Jasmine is gonna like slip him a roofie and then rob him blind. And it's a very valid fear. It's a very valid fear. So Gino, we find out that Gino has been laid off of work because of the pandemic. He works in, I think, still like the auto industry, like in manufacturing or a factory of some sort. But he said because he's really good with money and savings, he is able to still send her money. So he has been paying for her to get her lips done, to get her eyebrows microbladed, to get facials, to get her hair done, and he bought her some braces, y'all. Do y'all know how much braces cost? I had braces as a teenager. And I was like the typical teenager that, didn't wear their retainer or whatever. So I've been like looking into getting braces or at least get a retainer back on my bottom row of teeth now as an adult. I looked at the price even with my insurance, and I work for a great company. I work for a Fortune 100 company. We have great insurance. And I still was like, oh, Lord, is that what my parents paid? Absolutely not. So the fact that you're sending her money for that, not with insurance, but just you're sending her cash, Gino, I feel like I'm going to be so heartbroken for Gino by the end of the show. I promise you. But Gino plans on proposing to her in Panama. He feels that she really loves him. And his family, it's just kind of like, how do you know she's not faking this? And he said, you can't fake an emotional connection like this. And I said, Gino is gonna break my heart. I can feel it. So Memphis and her mother are making some cupcakes. And her mother was telling her, I hope that this is all worth the money that you're paying. So now we find out that Hamza is not working because of the pandemic. So Memphis's mother thinks that he's using her as a way to get over to the States. I'm inclined to agree. So the fact that y'all want to get married right away, Memphis, you should have took your ass on Married at First Sight. You could have found you somebody that at least has a job and is at least in the same city in the United States, at least in the same country, girl. So she says she's out on she's taking a leap of faith as to whether or not he's ready to be a stepdad. And this is where the concern comes from me. I'm not saying that Hazma is a bad person or anything like that, but you have a teenage daughter. You have a young son. Why would you bring a complete stranger, not only to them, but a stranger to you, into their living environment and disrupt their lives like this? All because you want to date somebody? Girl, woo, Jesus. And then we find out that Memphis, her mother had some addiction issues. Her father was in jail. So she didn't have the greatest childhood growing up. She bounced from foster care back and forth. But, she got her stuff together and was able to put herself through school. And that she's now a nurse practitioner. And she tells her mom, with my salary, I can afford to take care of him for a couple of months. But I also told him he needs to get a job right away when he gets here. He works in air and cooling, or heating and cooling, so he should be able to find a job. So we have Kim. Kim is talking to her friends. They're out at the beach, and Kim reveals to them that they're going to have separate hotel rooms. And one of her friends was like, whose idea was that? She said that it was Soja's because he said he would feel more comfortable. And her friends are like, girl, he's going to break your heart. But see, these are the type of friends that you want to have. You want to have friends that are going to be real with you. So many times people want to be surrounded by yes men and friends that aren't going to give them the real, that are just going to tell them what they want to hear. And that's just not what's best for you. So Kim said, they asked, does he want kids? Kim says yes. Now, Kim is 51. Kim does not want to have any more kids, right? So she said that she would allow him to marry a second wife, because that's part of his culture. She's okay with him having a second wife and having kids. She is okay with that. And she told him that, and he said that he was okay with that too. And one of her friends said, well, of course, he gets to have 2 women. So Kim feels that her friend should want her to be happy. She starts crying again. And she walks away, and she feels that people should want her to be happy. She's nervous. She's not entirely comfortable with what she's doing, but she feels that this could be her last chance at love. And I'm like, Kim. This is not it, sweetheart. I promise you this is not the way. There is somebody out there for Kim, and it's going to be somebody that is not overseas and a stranger that she has not met. Where is her son? Why is her son? I mean, granted, again, no one can tell you what to do. Kim is grown. But it's like, wow. But what I'm not going to deal with, though, Kim, is you getting mad and crying every time somebody tells you this don't make sense. Because you say it out loud to yourself again. None of this makes sense. None of it, right? So then the final scene is us seeing Gino. Gino was heading to the airport. Uncle Marco comes to pick him up. Uncle Marco was a mess. You can see his eyes are glassy. He's uncomfortable with it. And he's just scared of what can happen. But Gino gets in there and he calls Jasmine. Jasmine wants him to call him when he gets on the plane. Probably when, they get ready to take off. Jasmine probably wants to call when they at cruising altitude. Jasmine's going to want to call when the plane is starting to descend. So, yikes. But if you enjoyed this recap and want to see more videos from me on 90 Day Fiance, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Thumbs up the video, and I will catch you guys next week.